Hi, I'm Rob Ellis. This is my final project presentation for the Big Data Analytics class at the Harvard Extension School. This presentation is on Apache Flume. The Apache website probably has the best description of Apache Flume. It says, Apache Flume is a distributed, reliable, and available service for efficiently collecting, aggregating, and moving large amounts of log data. Now, that's a little bit hard to parse, but really what it usually means is just pushing log data onto a Hadoop file system. So what does Flume not do? Well, it doesn't really work with anything but some kind of logging data. If you have semi-structured or binary data, try FileSlurper or Oozie. If you have database data, try Sqoop or HBase, or you can just roll your own with MapReduce. But Flume won't help you with any of that. In Flume, the basic architecture has components called agents. Each of the agents is composed of sources, sinks, and channels. The idea with a source is that you get data from the outside, and then you transfer that data into a channel. Sinks, they take data from the channels and they write it to some external source, which might be the next agent in the line, or it might be something like an HDFS. Channels themselves act as pipes, like a Unix pipe, between sources and sinks. Flume allows for lots of different kinds of sources and sinks and channels. For sources, you can use avro or exec, which is any kind of executable command that puts data to standard out. You can use netcat or HTTP get or push, or post rather. For sinks, you can do avro, you can do the Hadoop file system or HBase. Channels can be just regular queues in memory, or they can be files on the disk, or lots of other options. And in fact, you can replace any source or sink or channel with a custom component, which allows you to use sources and sinks and channels that aren't already in Flume. So installing Flume is easy if you've already installed Hadoop. So for testing, definitely use a VM that already has Hadoop installed. You can of course go in from Cloudera. To install Flume, just use a package manager if you're on some kind of Red Hat system. Use Yum to install if you're on Ubuntu or some other kind of Debian system. Use apt-get. That works great. To use Flume, what you do is you create a new configuration file. The configuration file specifies the sources, the sinks, and the channels that are going to be used. So here's a sample configuration file. This comes straight off of the Flume user guide. So first what we have is we set the names of a source, a sink, and a channel. Now you can actually have many sources and sinks and channels. Flume is very flexible that way, but for now, for this one, we're just going to have one source, one sink, and one channel. The next set describes and configures the source. Or configures the source. In this case, it's a netcat source, and most sources are going to require some configuration, and so in this case we're going to set it to be a local host on a high number port 44444. And then we describe the sink. In this case, the sink is very simple. It's just a logger, which is just the output log used for testing in Flume. And then we have to specify the channel. In this case, it's just a simple memory channel. And then we just bind the source to the channel, and we bind the sink to the channel. And that's it. That puts together the entire flow. So we run the sample just by using Flume ng, and we specify the configuration file with the conf file. And we specified the name of the agent with name. Now in another window then, since this is on netcat, we use telnet to send information to the local host on the 44444 port. And I just sent test1, and then it immediately is going to show up in the other terminal with running the Flume. And you can see it logging here. That's 74657374. 31, that's just test1 in hexadecimal. So if you need more resources, the best place to go is still the Flume user guide, because it's really the only thing that's absolutely up to date. I also really liked Hadoop in Practice by Alex Holmes. The only problem with that is that it is now working on an older version of Flume. In any case, I hope that you learned something from the presentation, and good luck with your projects. Thank you.